working twice as hard for something you already got. Another orange morning, it's time to show. Another orange morning, it's time to grow. Another orange morning, let the updates flow. Another orange morning, you already know. Your friends are coming through the door. Wheels are spinning on the floor. We don't know what we don't know. That's the only way to grow. Another orange morning, it's time to show. Another orange morning, it's time to grow. Another orange morning, let the updates flow. Another orange morning, you already know. What you're looking for is in your hand, been there all along. Pour another cup and pull a chair. Sing along. Another orange morning, it's time to show. Another orange morning, it's time to grow. Another orange morning, let the updates flow. Another orange morning, you already know.
Good morning, HubSpot Nation. Welcome to another episode of Another Orange Morning. Happy Thursday. It is May 7th, 2026. Casey,
It is.
that's what's been missing. I'm gradually bringing back like things from the intro without looking at a script. And it's just, brick by brick here, as George likes to say, building back up.
I liked when you were starting with what am I doing in HubSpot today?
Okay, let's do that then. What are you doing in HubSpot today?
Oh, that's a great question, Chris. I have an integration that I've kind of been inching towards. It's called Starbridge, and the Starbridge side has done their work. So now there's some work I need to do on the HubSpot side to make sure everything's syncing and connected.
Starbridge. Are we exploring galaxies or something like that? Either that or maybe creators, like stars, like human stars.
Yeah, so this is the new segment where I find an app name and Chris has to guess what it means.
Oh man, that might stick.
Any guesses on Starbridge?
I mean, those are my guesses. Like
the galaxies?
I mean, creator mode, like supporting, like if you want to be a star as a creator or do stuff online and build up a career doing that. Otherwise, I don't know what kind of stars are important to be integrating into HubSpot.
Incorrect.
So I apologize to Starbridge if it's woefully inaccurate, but there's a marketing element of what we do. So maybe,
It's a data enrichment platform, and I believe it's specific to government, or at least the way I'm using it in a government application. So I was under the impression that it was like data enrichment specifically for government. So where I have a client who's GovTech, they have a list of, cities and counties that they were targeting, and it gives us data on their budget cycles, how much budget is being allocated to different areas, which is all public information, obviously.
That sounds super useful.
It is.
Why Starbridge?
I didn't name it, Chris.
Okay. I can only guess it was like, if it was government related. Yeah, we could stick on this for all the episode. So I'll just let it go for now and bring it up at some other inconvenient time. when it popped back to mind. But updates of HubSpot are one of the reasons that we're here every day. Apparently only a couple today. TikTok lead syncing. I get the pleasure of hitting on this twice in 1 week. And we did bring it up. So something that I think I mentioned last week on the show with George that we do every Friday. So tomorrow we do a weekly recap with George a couple hours after this one. Max, I was listening to them on Hub Heroes podcast, and the idea of what TikTok is becoming in support of things like getting leads, about how there's a lot of videos and AI videos. And so I guess my point here is just be careful. Just because you can do this in HubSpot, because they love to support what we're doing, no matter how strategic or not strategic it might be. Just be careful if you're focused on lead gen on a new platform like TikTok and you have access to AI avatars and AI videos. Yeah, that's my message today, I guess, my PSA for TikTok lead syncing.
So are you going to talk about what lead syncing is, or just...
I guess. Is that what we're doing? Like, no matter what's on the screen, we're just going to read. Like, we already did it. So you can
Okay.
I think we have it up on anotherorangemorning.com as an update. So hopefully, like, moving forward, we can kind of just start adding strategy layers onto these ones that we've been, digging into. And the next thing you know, we'll have a TikTok lead syncing pillar page for everybody to leverage.
There you go.
I don't
All right,
like that. I feel so awful saying something like that. Oh, do not come to us for lead syncing. Yeah. Anyway, NetSuite app, another fan favorite, NetSuite.
I was like, this seems more like a Chris update.
Oh man. Opportunity and deal sync improvement. I am interested in that. What is it? The NetSuite app's opportunity and deal sync has been upgraded with a new data retrieval method that improves sync speed and reliability, especially for accounts working with large volumes of records.
This matters because your opportunity and deal data now syncs into HubSpot faster, so your team is always working from accurate, up-to-date information. If you've experienced high API call overhead, slower syncs, and increased risk of rate limit errors, this update directly addresses that. This is interesting. So they're just changing how it feels like there's no meaningful change to the end user based on what I'm reading.
Well, I mean, one of the biggest issues as you start to scale the volume of records and just the volume of the architecture itself, like we have it pretty easy in HubSpot when we're opening records and we've got 40 tabs open and everything is just click, 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 and it's right there. There's never any load times at all. Systems like NetSuite and that, like, the back office brethren, do not work like that. There's often at least a few seconds of load time, if not significantly more. And that's where the architecture of integration starts to really, really impact, like, the user experience, especially now, like when 80% of your life, or maybe 20% of your life, is click button, get cookie immediately. When you're thrust into a situation where that does not happen, you start building your own spreadsheets and start going outside the system. Or worst case, you stop trying to improve the system because, there's this big blocker of just, it's not going to go any faster. So at the scale of records, we've seen HubSpot start to build for that more, right? And so it makes sense. My issue here, maybe this is going to lead into our object of the day, is that the standard sync of the NetSuite app can be hard to work with if you see the integration in any kind of different strategic way. Like if you want to do orders from HubSpot, as an example, like you can't, you have to build custom, like there's not much customization of this app itself, at least when we last looked. So you often have, if you want to use the app, it's like maybe using this app for a little bit of things, and then you still have to build like a separate customized thing to help. So I think that's what's tough for all parties involved when we're syncing really complex systems where the data models like don't match. But when we do sync them, we can't let things like high volumes of records like get in the way of the user experience. So good to see that they are improving this one.
Great news. I have not worked with the NetSuite integration, but I'm confident you have many times, Chris. So I trust your feedback that this is getting better.
Yep. On next week, where I'm going to have this, like, there's a whole rant like behind this, if you can't tell, but I'm saving it for the show I do with Trisha Merriam and Aaron Wiggers. We're going to like value first platform, AI data readiness. We're going to talk about like vendors like HubSpot, NetSuite, and partners, and like how AI data ready they actually are. Because we just need our software friends to put us in better positions to be successful sometimes. And that's a huge reason why I think the HubSpot ecosystem loves HubSpot. It's a different world compared to the NetSuites and the Salesforces and, that kind of stuff. So stay tuned for that next Wednesday.
That's good.
Should we jump into Will It Workflow?
Let's do it.
I think so.
All right. What will we get today? Custom object. Outlook. Ugh. Generate a document.
No punches pulled here.
I thought you were saying nope. Just nope. This will not, should not, cannot.
Yeah. Let's just answer the question. Will it workflow? Maybe. Should it? No.
If Outlook is involved, I don't know if it can workflow. But okay, let's take our own biases out of this. Custom object, these happily are custom objects, right? No.
Yeah. What is media? You see that media object
in data?
Anyways.
We might have an object of the day. Or here, this one, astronaut.
Yeah.
This is our custom object. This is, okay.
Yeah, thank Nico for that custom object.
I don't even know how to say that. Yes, I do know that that's Nico.
Aeronautical engineering projects. Probably very much likely that they are relying on Outlook if they're doing aeronautical engineering projects.
That's a good point. I will say I do not see Outlook come up.
Yeah, and we don't even have it. And this is what becomes challenging, like to test and like get good at this stuff. Like if you have a Gmail account and you're not in if you don't have an Outlook email, like you don't really want to, or you can't like integrate it with HubSpot to see like how it works, and then you run into these things in the wild. But I think an easy cop out here would be like, oh, Outlook does email. Like, what
That's
can
what
we
I was
do with emails?
thinking. That's what I was thinking too. So we could send an internal email notification, assuming that you are using Outlook. And we can send it to the owner of the custom object, let's say. But how, if our outcome, our use case is to generate a document, I mean, I'm sure I can think of, but at the end of the day, the internal email notification is going to be like, hey, Chris, this custom object has reached a limit. Or this custom object's been created. Can you create a document that outlines the needs of this custom object or whatever? Let's maybe.
Well, can we do anything with the new one-to-one email triggers? Like, so if we've got Outlook synced with HubSpot, and that's where this is coming from, like, so the apps center of the wheel is meant to include HubSpot apps, and then, the top apps from the marketplace that are usually integrated, like Google and Outlook, and stuff that really most people don't consider even to be integrations, because you just go like, do you want to connect your calendar? Do you want to connect your email? And it's such an obvious, like, yes, but it's still like an integrated app. So if HubSpot and Microsoft on their side are not developing it like as such, like it's easy to take it for granted, right? So if we were to receive an email, let's say response, and we were to receive it in Outlook, and we're working from Outlook, can that trigger the creation of like a custom object record with a document attached? I know the answer to the last half of that is yes. So again, I think like most of our challenges in this segment is going to be how to properly set the context of the workflow. What are you trying to do here?
So I have the email trigger. I was looking at what my options were for enrollment from an email. So I changed it to when an event occurs. So when the number of email replies is greater than 0. So AKA we got an email reply on this one-to-one email. Probably want to narrow this more, obviously, and add in, I guess it would be probably down here. We would be like, and subject.
Yep.
Contains custom object needed, whatever.
Could we say like aeronautical engineering?
I don't know
project?
how to spell that, Chris. I don't know how to spell that.
Okay, let's say happily event then. But you can't spell that either.
Is it 1P?
It's like 1P.
I thought it was app. App. I thought that was part of it.
That's a good question for Dax. I never thought about it that way, but yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Right?
Sure.
Okay, so that's our trigger. And now we can create a CRM object or create record.
And now it has to be happily event because I can't spell the other one.
Right. And then now, yeah. So what's so associated to enrolled email? What's our options
We can
there?
look at everything, but
Look
you
at
have to think about what would actually be associated to the email, which is most likely the contact.
Right. And so we can type in like happily event, or we can say like the contact.
Recently associated, let's see that.
And just like,
company name.
And then dash like new event.
Oh, and then you could, in theory, do like
email body.
Email body, yeah.
Or something like that. And this is where you start to have some fun with like naming conventions and email templates. If they're responding to a template and they're just filling in the template, and again, like it's good that this is based on Outlook because this is when you have to do this. Like when like people don't want to go fill out forms or do things on websites.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to handle way too much data inside of an email thread.
Mm-hmm.
But even now, so somehow this has turned into a very valuable workflow where if you're forced to, and this can come up for like security reasons, like emails that can't go out of the building or whatever, it's got to be internal. You can design the email bodies kind of like how we've seen notes come into play in HubSpot now. Like emails are objects, so now you can design them in a way where the unstructured data of the email actually becomes structured. And now you can use that structure to build out the rest of like your CRM data. And then from there, you can use that CRM record to very easily, I mean, not natively, but UI extensions are getting easier and easier, or using other apps to create documents, based on that deal or based on that custom object. Yeah.
So that's why I started pulling this up. So like the next step here is the creating document step, which there's a lot of options there depending on what you're using. So.
And what we're usually doing for clients, me and Ryan Ginsberg, like there's always an ask of some kind of document. Like, how do we manage it? Like, it's usually shared via email. It's an attachment. It's coming into this attachment area. It's messy. I don't want to scroll through attachments. So, like creating file properties on this record, that with one UI extension button, you can just say create PDF, creates the PDF, automatically loads into the file property on the record. And now you can use that to send another, like automate the email back thing. Like, and this is where like, it's always more complex when you have an external customer involved, but there's so much opportunity internally for internal communications to get sped up in this way.
Right? I even like using a custom LLM. So I commonly create HubSpot audits, like Claude generates the audit for me. I just presented one earlier this week and my client was like, Casey, did you build this template? It looks really good. And I was like, I mean, in some ways I did.
Orchestrated it.
So, I mean, I could see even just from here, if I am connecting to Claude, sending off a prompt to Claude to create a proposal or a audit or an event description, like whatever, based on what we're pulling out of Outlook. So we did it.
Yep. And let's go. Let's bring it back into HubSpot though. To finish, like, can we, like, let's call an agent, HubSpot AI.
Run
So
agent.
run agent, right? And that's where a lot of people are using agents in HubSpot to create some kind of document. This is where like the Word document, like use it as needed here, but to create a highly structured note on a record might as well be a document. So again, lots of opportunity here to actually leverage a team that is communicating exclusively in Outlook and not ever wanting to come into HubSpot. You can make it so that can do a lot of work for you.
Yeah. And even like the RFP agent is probably a one that's already built out. That's probably a really good use case here.
Yep.
And then to your point, okay, now we add create note.
Look at those options though, like add line item to deal, convert to invoice. Like all of these things have been challenges. Like for teams.
I don't think we can create a note. I've actually, now I'm remembering, I've done this before where I've used zero code tools to create notes in HubSpot. We might be able to ask AI.
We can't create notes yet? Well, is it
create a task?
Like create a record? Like just see. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I forgot about that actually.
And now, but now tasks are pretty robust.
So we could.
And I think there's probably, in a lot of portals, you've been using notes to support tasking. And now we can do custom properties and subtasks and so a lot of the stuff you're doing in notes, like almost anything you're trying to hack your way through by using an unstructured asset type like notes, and then engineering the hell out of the naming conventions within the note so that you can then report on it and trigger things if you want to structure that more. I think tasks is going to be a good option for people. We did it.
So I just took whatever the response of the RFP agent was and just dropped that in the task as a response. Run agent and then text response here. I think with the right integrations in place, we could have gotten to a full PDF outcome too, if that's your need there. But I am very surprised that we got to will it workflow? Yes. Should it workflow, Chris?
Almost definitely when you have a team that is using Outlook exclusively and you've got HubSpot plugged in.
And then we built something.
Yep, we did. Maybe next week we'll be ready to actually fire the workflows and watch it work. Until then, you've been up to some fun stuff as always beyond the content, but I guess this is another form of content, but also community.
Yeah, so I got accepted to be the leader of 2 hugs, which, as I mentioned to Chris, they told me that I could apply for up to 2, and I was like, all right, let's do 2, and I'll probably get selected for 1. And then I got the response back that was like, you got it. Good luck out there. So I am now a hug leader, both of my local hug in the DMV area, which for those not in the DMV area, stands for Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, which is kind of the greater DC and Baltimore metro areas is also, you can kind of define it as that. And for that hug on May 19th, hosting a very casual get together at the Guinness Brewery in Baltimore. Intentionally trying to keep this very casual, just a way for people to just meet up and hang out. And there was a DMV hug, but it had kind of gone quiet. So just looking at this as a way of kind of revitalizing that and gauging some interest and getting people together.
Yeah, there's so much opportunity in the in-person event space right now. So kudos to you for trying it out.
Yeah, it's something I've been very passionate about, but I've never like worked in. I've said for years that I think I would really like event marketing, but I've just never done it. So this is kind of dipping my toe into event based.
And any event marketers out there that want to warn Casey about whether she can even dip her toe, because there's a bit of work I've heard and experienced related to in-person events, especially. But it looks
that's why I'm like, it's casual, everyone. Just show up as you are.
Yeah, lower
this is me
expectations,
dipping my
like,
toe.
low. Like, can we just get together and have a conversation? I do think HubSpot seems to be putting more resources behind live regional, like in-person stuff. So it's good to see that. I mean, that was my first intro to the HubSpot community back in like, it was 2018, like when there was only in-person hugs. There was no digital like hugs before COVID. And Bayer Bradford ran one. And that was where it was like, you know, you watch HubSpot Academy and probably now content on LinkedIn. And like, I got to meet like Dan Tyre and Justin Champion and like people that you were seeing in the HubSpot Academy showing up in person and doing, it was just like, it was cool. It was cool.
And then the other one I'm doing is a virtual one. This is Women of HubSpot. I have been annoying my husband for months with all of my emotions around what it is to be a woman in business and what it means, especially a woman in tech, like just a lot of feelings and emotions there. But that's why I'm really excited for this hug. I had this idea of focusing each of the hug events around a woman, a public figure, and kind of how they've shown strength or confidence or whatever, whatever they're known for. So the first one is going to be centered around Brene Brown. There is some optional pre-engagement, so you can listen I listened to the podcast version, but there's a transcript, there's a YouTube video of Brene talking about what vulnerability isn't. And yeah, it's all about kind of how women can show up and be vulnerable in a way that feels right for them and in the spaces that feel comfortable and confident.
That's amazing. Like, definitely give yourself some credit for creating space for this kind of stuff. It's been fun to watch, I can tell you. So I hope you are enjoying the experience and the ride, and that people are appreciating you for it.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of people very excited about this one specifically. So, I mean, not that people aren't excited, but like, I think because there's a virtual community around this, there's some excitement there. So I'm excited about it, and I hope to do everyone proud. No pressure. Again, very casual Zoom meetup.
Oh yeah. Something that just came to mind, like I think there's lots of lessons for you to share along the way here about this transformation that everybody's having to deal with, like the ability to target and be very focused on a topic and an audience is like more possible with digital, I would say, versus the in-person hug. Like you really have to, it's much harder because it's based on who can show up, like who can come in person on that day. So creating a strategy and approach to be like more open and less targeted and just like, are we creating the space for conversation? I'd argue is more important, like for the it's more important to prioritize that in a way that's different from like digital and events like this.
Yeah, you're right. And like one of the reasons why I didn't really set a specific topic for the in-person one was I have literally no idea who's going to show up to this first one. I have no idea. Like, I have some friends that I do know are going to come, but generally outside of like my friends, I don't know who's going to show up. So for me to set a topic around people and an audience I've yet to meet and get to know, honestly felt like, it kind of felt like what who would I be serving in that, versus the Women of HubSpot one, which it's easier to kind of set a topic and then, I there's a more clear audience and a more clear need. So you're right, and that's why the events look so different, which is interesting.
Yeah, like you basically haven't decided, hey, local people, this event is for you. Like, and then whoever shows up and starts to participate, you start to like hone in.
Yeah, like, is it small businesses? Is it big like, is it enterprise? Is it starter? Is it, there's a lot.
It's like the megaphone's like, anybody using HubSpot in this local vicinity, like come here. And like starting from that kind of scale, like if you try to target inside of that, it's like, it's so easy as somebody who wants to attend and wants to like learn or network. It's so easy to look at the topic, and when the topic is too targeted, be like, yeah, that's not for me. Right. Meanwhile, like kind of like what you just did for Will It Work Well, like you get in like, Outlook, get out of here. Like, no.
I was ready to not even bring up the workflow tool.
Yeah, I got nothing for that. Oh, wait. Half of the audience is using Outlook. That's right. Okay. Let's see what we can do here. And then, idea. So creating the space for people to in person, just wherever you're coming from, whichever business type, like literally the locality is the targeting, right? So very cool. I'm sure you'll learn a lot, and we'll be here with the space for you to share what you're learning. So I appreciate you for doing that. I think that's where we can wrap it for today.
Oh, we didn't do your object today. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not feeling that today. I'm sure we'll have one. I'm not sure, but we might have one tomorrow. But remember, folks, whether it's inside of the HubSpot platform or outside in the version of one of the two hugs that Casey is doing, you probably already have the value you've been looking for. You just need to wake up to it. So until tomorrow, everybody have a wonderful rest of your Thursday.
Happy Thursday.